Welcome to another edition of Patriot Spotlight, and today it's a family edition. Curt Bloom, JT Watts, and Dad Tyler Watts. When I arrived in Birmingham in the early 90s to work with the Barons, it was, we wound up in Pelham. And out of my bedroom, I can hear the public address announcer for 4 years. Touchdown by Watts, touchdown by Watts, touchdown by Watts. You know, for 4 years that was rolling in my mind. That was your dad. That was your dad having that brilliant career. Are you aware of those days in Pelham and how he's like a local hero there?
No, I've gotten a good bit about it. I'm always reminded.
That's one of those things you can't get away. And then for you, bring me. I know Homewood is the community now, but back to your days as a high school guy growing up. You know, you once told me this, Tyler. You said your goal was to be an Alabama quarterback. Not an NFL guy or not a Heisman Trophy winner, but every kid grows up and you wanted to quarterback Alabama. During those Pelham years, was that always in your mind?
Well, later in the career, it became that. As you started getting recruited and understanding you had an ability to play at the next level, that definitely was where I was wanting to go.
And out of curiosity, what other schools were interested?
Everybody in the Southeastern Conference. I got offered by Penn State, Notre Dame, Northwestern, a lot of different schools. It was more regional back then, but we did take a couple of unofficial visits up north and were offered scholarships by them.
JT, your relationship with your teammates, with your friends, coaches, whoever, does anybody ask you about, oh man, can your dad get me a ticket? Can your dad get me a football? Can your dad tell me stories?
I mean, yeah, it's one of those things you can't really get away from, kind of being around this area. And obviously all the coaches know. They talk to me about it. Some of my teammates nag me about it because I'm not, I do my job, but I'm not above and beyond or anything.
But you must be proud as well to hear those stories.
I mean, it's pretty neat. It's definitely pretty motivating. It kind of pushes me to be better.
And what's the best part about being Tyler's son?
I mean, I try to kind of ignore that, to be honest. I try to kind of make a name for myself and be my own player. And obviously there's a lot of benefits, like going to Alabama and stuff like that, but for the most part, I try to do things on my own and try to be my own person.
Now, do you want the truth?
Yes, I do. No. More importantly, what's it like being his dad?
Oh, I'm proud. I'm proud of how he performs and how he plays, and the man that he's growing into be. He's maturing and doing a nice job. He does. He sets his own direction, as he should. He should. But the true answer
is
he gets tired of coming home at night and rehashing every quarter, every block, everything that has ever taken place out there on the field on Friday night. And then, if I've heard it once, I've heard it 1,000 times. Dad, nobody cares how y'all did it in the 90s. Your shoulder pads were bigger. Y'all weren't as fast. You weren't as complicated as what we're doing. I said, you know what? You're right. You're right. We weren't. However, it still comes down to blocking and tackling.
Your greatest memory at the Capstone is?
Either beating Auburn in '99 or in 2002 beating Tennessee for the first time in 7 years. Now those are two special games for all Alabama players, but that game in Tennessee in '02 was sure enough special because we had not beat them in 7 years. When
did you, JT, when do you remember him playing ball? How old were you at that time, and is there any memory at all?
Well, I grew up a lot, always hearing about it, and I always knew, but it kind of started hitting me a little more, and I thought it was a little bit cooler once I got to like middle school and I started really watching ball, and I kind of understood it a little more, the importance of it. It made more sense to me. Okay, and future plans for you? You already got the shirt on there.
You're going to go most likely to Alabama, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what will your major be, and what is the future like?
I'm a major in probably accounting. I think I'm gonna start at low-level accounting, do some business classes, and from there, there's a lot of opportunities from there, and I'll kind of branch out and see what else I can do further down the road.
I'm going to ask this to Dad. Dad, is he going to be living at home and still living on that checking account?
He's never going to live at home again after he leaves here. I'm sure that we'll have to support him. You know, me and his mom are extremely proud. He's extremely smart. He's gotten a full ride scholarship to Alabama, so you know we're awfully proud of that. And no, he's ready to get out and do his own thing.
That's awesome. Look at the smiles on both of their faces. And by the way, I got to mention Herman. Herman is your dad, and he's your grandpa. And this is a story that comes full circle. When I was with the Barons, and he, of course, was at Pelham and an All-American on his way to Alabama, I sold advertising, and Alpha was one of my biggest clients. And the guy who signed the check from Alpha was Herman Watts. Tell me a little bit about Grandpa.
I mean, I love my grandfather. I talk to him every Thursday night, every Friday night. He always shows up for games. He's very supportive. He always wants to hear about what I got to say about it, even if he don't really know what he's talking about at the time with football, but he's supportive. You know, I appreciate it.
And Tyler, the guy who sets the pace for the Watts family, because as good a person as you are, and you have been so generous to this community, generous to me, generous to the Alabama family. I always say this, and one day you'll understand this. It's Dad and Mom who set the pace. So tell me about Herman as he was your dad, is your dad.
All right, he's always been a coach at heart. That's what he wanted to do, was coach. So in everything he did in life, it was teaching, holding you accountable, and constant communication. And that's something that he does as good with anyone, is connecting with people. So like what JT just said, he's constantly asking you how things are going. He's involved in your life, and he sets a good example. I mean, anywhere you go in town, he's got a really good reputation.
Yes.
People speak highly of him.
Yes.
And as his son, and I'm sure as his grandson, you're proud of that. And you kind of want to continue down that track as well of the precedent that he has started.
Well said. All right, guys, if you need to take your jacket off, I got to ask these guys, I want them to throw the quarterback to the tight end.
I brought him out here, Curt, last year for his junior year, and he's like, Dad, go throw it to me. I want to run some routes.
Uh-huh.
And I said, all right. So we brought him out here, and I said, we got to do tail ends. Tail ends is just where you run the end of a route. He goes, why do we want to do that? I go, because I can't throw like that all day long. And I swear to you, after about 15 minutes, my arm was killing me. And he goes, all right, I want to run some verticals now. I bet it was a 20-yard pass, and I was doing everything I could to get it to him. And it wasn't getting on time.
Your reputation and your money was your arm. That was a rocket.
Well, back in the day it was, and then everybody else's arm was good too. But we managed. We didn't throw the ball but maybe 15, 20 times back then.
Right.
So, a little different.
I think I could throw farther than you right now.
You cannot throw further than me.
I 100% can.
Oh, look at that. Yes. Soft hands.
One more.
We'll go.
All right, back to our Patriot Spotlight. So you got a chance to see the Watts family in action, the quarterback and the tight end. What did it feel like catching a ball from a guy who was a pretty big star in the SEC and a star at Alabama?
It's a little underwhelming. You'd think he'd be a little bit better, but he's getting old.
Oh my goodness. Yowza. Please return serve.
Well, the reality is if he had played back in the day with me,
Right.
I'd have probably hung him out to dry over the middle because there was no targeting back then, and I'd have gotten taken as decapitated for running that mouth the way he does.
I know the grandfather of the family would not like this banter back and forth. But anyways, you know, you can see how special the Watts family is, what they mean to this Homewood community, what Tyler is as a person. He's always been this way as long as I've known him. So guys, thanks for joining me. This was maybe the most fun I've had in quite some time. JT, thank you. You still got a couple games, big games ahead of you, Tyler. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Curt.
The Watts family joining me, Curt Bloom. Now remember, you can watch these interviews, all the stuff that we do. You've got the NFHS network. We like to go to our YouTube page, on our Homewood YouTube page, as well as our Homewood app. And we'll finalize this by saying, go Pats.